السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Our lesson, probability. Before we study the probability, we want to revision what does it mean, the random experiment. Its experiment, we know all possible outcomes before we do it, but we can't know what exactly actual outcomes. For example, if we throw coin, we know before throw the coin the outcome it will be tail or head, but we can't actual which one is appear. So the random experiment, it's mean an experiment where all its possible outcomes are known before doing it, but we can't determine the actual outcomes. The sample space is the set of all possible outcomes denoted by S. S is all the set of all possible outcomes. N of S, it's mean the number of elements in S. The event, for example, as tossing a fair coin once is equal head and tail. Through die is equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Event it's a subset of the sample space. Event is set which subset from the sample space. For example, if A is the event of appearance of an odd number when we throw a fair die once, we know S equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A is an odd numbers in 6 numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then the event A equals 1 and 3 and 5, which doesn't change 7 because A subset of S. A is an odd subset of sample space. The probability, it will be the number of A over the number of S. If we want to find the probability of the event A equal the number of elements in A over the number of elements in S, it will be N of A over N of S. Example, if a fair die is through once and we observe the number on the upper face, find the probability of each of the following. First, the sample space of the fair die equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then N of S equals 6. S has 6 elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 1, A is the event number greater than 4. A is the event which greater than 4. Greater than 4, 5 and 6. Then A equal 5 and 6. A has 2 elements. N of A equals 2. Then the probability of A equals the number of A over the number of S. Number of A 2 and the number of S 6. So the probability of A equals 2 over 6 equals 1 over 3. Number B, the event of appearance of an even number, even 2, 4, and 6. 2, 4, and 6. B has 3 elements, 2 and 4 and 6. Then the probability of B equals 3 over 6, 1 over 2. C is the event of appearance of the number 5. Number 5, we have only one face is the number 5. So C equals only 5. 5, then the number of C equals 1. The probability of C equal 1 over 6. D is the event of appearance of the number 7. The die has 6 faces from 1 to 6. Then the probability of D equals phi. Phi hasn't any 0, then n of D equals 0. The probability of D equals 0 over 6 equals 0. It's called impossible event. Then the probability of impossible event equals 0. Probability of impossible event equals 0. Number E. E is the event of appearance of the number less than 7. Less than 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So E, 6 elements. The probability of E equals 6 over 6 equal 1. It's called the sure event or certain event. So here the probability of impossible event equals 0. Probability of sure event equals 1. The probability of impossible event equals 0. The probability of sure or certain event equal 1. Any probability greater than or equal 0 and less than or equals 1. The probability, the fraction from 0 to 1, less than or equals 1 and greater than or equal 0. The sum of probabilities of all outcomes, it must be equals 1. The sum of all possible outcomes, it must be equals 1. Then the probability that an event A doesn't occur is 1 minus probability of A. If we have probability of A equal 0.6, then the probability of event doesn't occur A or A dash equals 1 minus 0.6 equals 0.4. Here in this example, before we find the probability, we find the sum of all marbles. It contains 2 red and 3 blue and 5 white. Then their sum equal 2 plus 3 plus 5 equals 10. Number A, the probability that the drawn marble is red. Red here, 2. Then the probability of red equals 2 over 10, 1 over 5. Number B, the probability that the drawing blue here, 3. Then the probability of blue equals 3 over 10. Number 3, the probability that the drawing marble is white. White here is 5. Then the probability of white, 5 over 10 equals 1 over 2. Number 4, the probability that the drawing is not blue. Here the blue is 3 over 10. We can solve this exercise by 2 ways. Number 1, it's 10 marbles and the 3 blue, then not blue, 7. It will be 7 over 10. Another way, the probability of blue 3 over 10, then the probability is not blue 1 minus 3 over 10, it will be 7 over 10. Thank you and goodbye.